Hello and welcome to today's coaster history video on Maverick at Cedar Point. Going back, it all started with the close of the Swan Boats and Whitewater Landing in 2005. Footers and large fenced-off areas were spotted in Frontierland.
Rumors started circling amongst coaster fans. This was the long-awaited 17th coaster to the park. The last roller coaster added to Cedar Point at the time was Top Thrill Dragster in 2003.
On July 9th, 2006, guests and workers alike reported seeing a red coaster-looking ride part which was being unloaded from a tractor trailer with a crane. This caused a large amount of hype for a new roller coaster. At this time, one of the larger theories about the construction was that this would be the world's first 500-foot-tall roller coaster. But of course, this was mostly the general public talking, and you can't really blame them for thinking this because this was 3 years after Top Thrill Dragster opened, so technology was thought to be at that point.
No one knew the name until Cedar Fair trademarked the name Maverick on Tuesday, January 24th, 2006. When Maverick was announced on September 7th, 2006, it was Cedar Point's third roller coaster manufactured by Intamin.
It was announced as a $21 million Blitz coaster with a height of 105 feet, a 95-degree angle drop of 100 feet, and a length of 4,450 feet, 3 inversions, 2 92-degree angle overbank turns, and a top speed of 70 miles per hour. Although on paper, Maverick was not the tallest or the fastest coaster out there, it's hands down one of the most fast-paced and intense.
Maverick was topped off on September 11th, 2006 with an American flag attached to the track. Fast forward some weeks and Maverick was ready for testing. The crew struck a bit of a problem after multiple failed tests with the water-filled dummies.
They found the G-forces were too high on the Heartline roll element and put a large amount of stress on the trains as well as the riders. This caused a delay of Maverick's debut until May 24th, 2007, due to the park having to replace the Heartline roll element with a less forceful S-curve element. These new pieces of track had to be fabricated and shipped to Cedar Point before further construction.
In the meantime, the construction crew removed the Heartline roll, but when it opened on May 24th, 2007, it did not disappoint.
Now, we both have ridden Maverick on multiple occasions, and we both think this coaster is amazing.
In my opinion, this is actually my favorite roller coaster that I've ever ridden. There is never a point in this ride where nothing is going on. It's so fast-paced, the elements are just one after another, and it never lets up.
And I have to agree with that. I personally think the same thing he does. Maverick is an amazing roller coaster. Its fast-paced nature is something you don't see on roller coasters that much. No matter who you are, Maverick pushes you to your limits with a high amount of G-forces going around turn after turn. Although Maverick is not my favorite roller coaster, it is definitely up there. In early 2015, Cedar Point announced that they were going to change the restraints on Maverick to resemble that of Intimidator 305. Both of us personally have ridden Maverick before and after the restraint change.
The first time I rode this ride, it was with the old restraints, and it was at night. I didn't know where I was going, so every turn and every element I hit my head, and I got a huge headache. It wasn't a great experience.
For me, when I first rode Maverick with the old restraints, I didn't think the 95-degree angle first drop would make much of a difference. But I was proven wrong, because on the drop, my face ended up hitting the restraint and I got a little bit of a bloody nose. That was my only problem with this ride. Other than that, I thought Maverick was great.
In the beginning of this summer, we both rode it again with the new restraints. And right after that ride, it was clear to me that that was my favorite roller coaster I have ever been on.
Although this year wasn't my first time riding Maverick with the new restraints, you do feel a little bit safer, but I'm honestly a fan of the restraints that are less restricting. Personally, I like to be able to move around a little bit more in my restraint. and not be so tightly strapped in. But I can see how this would not be favored to most people on a ride like Maverick.
All in all, Maverick is a great roller coaster with some really cool history behind it. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And don't forget to tell us in the comments what coaster you want to know more about.